as we've been talking about it, and I know you guys are writing down the photo, writing down, describing the emotions that you are feeling from the photo. We're talking about the 1930s. We've already started in just the starting aspects of the 1930s with what's going on. So what happened in October 29th, 1929? What was the big event?
Great Depression.
What part of it? Remember, it's a
Stock crash.
stocks crash. Very good. All right. So each of these stations are going to have a different photo that depicts not only the urban problem during the stock market crash and the Great Depression. Make sure you fill this out. All right, answer those two questions real quickly. But we're also going to take a look at the rural aspect of the 1930s. And when I say rural, what am I talking about?
Country.
Country, very good. And urban means what other than you telling us, because you've done a great job so far. Let's hear from Scott. Scott, urban means what?
Like densely populated place.
Densely populated place. What do we call that in short term instead of saying, oh, did you go to the densely populated place today? The city, very good. The city. All right. So, what are some things that you started, that you noticed right away off this photo?
That's Santa.
Santa, very good. Thought it'd be nice for the holidays coming around. Carly, yes.
Raising money,
So what?
raising money.
Raising money, right? What is that? 25,000 for the poor, right? The Salvation Army. What is the wording underneath my pointer?
Free Christmas dinner.
Free Christmas dinner. What do we do here that's kind of like that? Oh, wait, you know what? Hold that thought. But what type of act is that? Free Christmas dinner is a what? It's a, starts with a C. Charity. Very good. All right, so some background information. Gabe, go ahead. Can you read that for us, please?
I think I can.
Thank you.
The Great Depression was the worst economic downturn in the history of the industrialized world, lasting from 1929 to 1939.
Pause real quick, I appreciate it. So, how long did it last?
10 years.
10 years. So why do you think it was the worst economic downturn, Bryson? You gonna say I don't know?
Because nobody needs money.
No one had money because we had a lot of economic input into the industrialization, right, of our country. So now it crashes, the bubble popped, and now all that investing is gone. All right, go ahead, please continue.
It began after the stock market crash of October 1929.
Make sure you know that.
Which sent Wall Street into a panic and wiped out millions of investors. Over the next several years, consumers' spending and investment dropped because steep declines in industrial output and employment as failing companies laid off workers.
So what does that mean entailing?
Wasn't enough money to keep everyone hired.
Right. Gavin, go ahead and read the next part by 1933, please.
By 1933, when the Great Depression reached its lowest point, some 15 million Americans were unemployed and nearly half the country's banks had failed.
So that's a little bit of the background information, all right? So what we're going to do today is, as we're going through the various changes in American culture, through our society, you have 6 stations, right? You have the soup line, the sale of the car, Hooverville, you'll need to know that term, right? Eating soup, mother and child, and men in the truck, right? Now, these are very descriptive names, but in a sense, you'll see numbered 1 through 6. So, station 1 is back here, all right? And we're all gonna rotate separately, all right? So we're gonna have groups. We already have our groups, so this is our first group. Our second group, Zaire, you're gonna be with Carly. Alright, you guys are gonna be our third group. Alright, so Carly, your group's gonna start at station 1. This is where station 2 is. You're gonna start there. My group of 3, you're gonna be at station 3. Alright? Go ahead and get there now, please. Alright, so what's gonna happen next? I'm gonna pass out a graphic organizer. You're gonna see numbers on the side of it, on the left-hand side. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Alright? You have 3 questions. In the photo that you're at, so for example, Gabe's group, that is at photo number 3, they'll be at the bottom. They'll be answering three questions of that photo in that box. Alright? You're gonna have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go ahead, talk about it, and write about it. Once you hear the noise, we will rotate. So, real quick before we get started, number 3, group 3, you'll go to 4 where it's on the board. Group 2, you'll go to photo 3. Group 1, you'll go to photo 2. Does that make sense? And we'll rotate through. All right. And away we go. So what did you guys have for the first one?
Oh.
By cat,
Yeah,
or controlled by cat.
being controlled by.
Oh, being controlled by.
Yeah.
Okay. What you talking about? That's what it is. What about you guys? What are you guys looking at? Someone's selling, why are they selling their car?
Cause they lost no money.
Well, stock market, right? So what would you say you learned about this photo about that times?
They're going through really hard times.
Real hard times, right? How expensive do you think that car is?
Probably,
You think it's worth $100?
well, no,
Think it's worth more than $100?
yes.
Definitely, right? But he's only wanting $100 for it because
He probably can't eat.
he can't eat. But overall, he looks like what he's doing very dapper. Ooh, that's a good SAT word, dapper. All right, you guys have about a minute. What do you guys have with this one? You talk to me. What are you learning from this photo? A lot of people are poor, right? And so where are they standing in? Yeah. Yeah. So imagine how you would have to, you make money, you're able to provide for your family, and the stock market hits and crashes, and now you're extremely poor to the point where you're looking for a handout, right? So imagine how much that has to eat away at a man's pride or a family's pride that they will provide for their children, right? Ironically, they still look very, how are they dressed? Yeah, they're still dressed very well. So what does that indicate? They've been poor for long? No, this is very new to them. Right. All right, you guys have about 5 seconds. You're ready to rotate. Remember, 3 is going to the whiteboard for number 4. There we go. Go ahead. Rotate, rotate. 2 is right here. You don't need to move the chairs. There are chairs there for you. All right, go ahead. Get the whiteboard.
Wait, which one's this?
That's 4, so you'll be the first one on the back side. Up top, there you go. Alright, so Bryson, what do you got here? What's the first thing? Describe what's happening in the photo.
People living in makeshift houses.
There you go. houses, okay. Alright, Zaire, what's happening in this photo? What do you see in this photo? Trying to sell their car. How much are they selling for? $100, yeah. Alright, what else do you see? Street poverty. That's very cool. So, we're keeping learning about the Great Depression in this photo.
That people really want to survive.
Right? Anything and everything so that they are able to survive. Very good. It's a great way of explaining that part of it. You got about 30 seconds. All right, get ready to move. You got about 10 seconds. Remember that group 4 is now going to photo 5. Group 2 is going to the board, and group 3 you're going over to photo 3. All right, go ahead. Switch. Go ahead, start it up. It's about 2:30. Is pretty good for you guys. All right, so this is actually a famous photo. We'll talk about the artist who takes this photo. You see this quite a bit. If you haven't seen it already, this photo look familiar?
Yeah, I mean, we've, Mr. O'Brien showed it to us last year.
Okay. So you already kind of have an idea about it. So where do you think this photo is taken? In the city or in the country?
I'll say.
In the country. Yeah. So this is Anoki, a person who was out on the farm during the Dust Bowl. Remember, the Dust Bowl's happening at the same time. And so, dirt. She's just dirt, like, she doesn't know it's dirty. Not in the sense like diseases, but
Yeah.
she just has dust on her. Like, you live in a state of constant dust. So you went to bed, sleeping, breathing in dust. You ate dirt. There's a story of a young man, healthy, fit, but he's dying. And the doctor looks at his chest x-rays and his lungs are filled with dust and dirt. So every time he coughs, he's coughing up actual dirt. He spits out mud. And he ends up dying of asphyxiation because he is just breathing in so much dust. So this photo is just taken with his hands. It's kind of remarkable how tough it was. Alright, you guys got about 30 seconds. What do you see here?
People eating food.
Standing in the evening, right? What can you learn about that? What can you learn about that? Okay, so keep thinking about it, okay? Alright, you ready to switch? Alright. To the next station. A little quicker pace there. A little quicker pace. You guys are on 6. And then you guys can do 1, so you guys can actually stay at the same station. gonna see men at the counter, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So what is one thing that you can learn from that
A lot
photo?
of people have wanted to eat.
Right. That soup and bread is gonna be a staple of people's diet. Really help get their nutrients. So what do you see on this one?
People just spending on,
Well, you want that sign.
oh, it says we want.
We want, so people are eager to work.
Yeah, they need money.
So how does that make you feel? What does that photo make you feel?
Figure if I can just get a job anytime I want.
Right, that there's a need and necessity for what you're doing and where you're working, right? I'm gonna move question photo one to the next station, just because it's gonna be an extra video. Alright, you guys got about 20 seconds for moving. If you're already finished, go ahead and walk over to the next station and get ready to Alright, go ahead and start. So what do you guys see right here? Yeah, people asking for jobs. So what can you learn from that? That people are asking for jobs.
Is it many jobs and they need money?
Yeah, people need a lot of money. People are in desperate need of finding a sense of purpose. You guys got about 53 seconds. Alright, you guys are finished. Alright, you guys are gonna move to right here where the extra station is, okay? You guys finished as well? Alright, go ahead and make your switch. Go ahead, start. Alright, this round we're gonna speed it up just a little bit more. This is your last one, right? This is your last station?
Yeah.
Okay. So last station as well. what I want you guys to do, once you guys are wrapping this up, I want you to star 2 things that you find you don't need to write on the exit ticket, but I want on your graphic organizer, I want you to star 2 things that you learned from one of the photos. Alright? So if it's station 6, that's fine. If it's station 4, that's fine. Just go ahead and star what you found interesting, okay? What we're gonna do here momentarily is we're gonna do the exit ticket together. We're gonna take a look at what we found interesting, what we learned on the whiteboard, okay? So this is the exit ticket. 3 things that we learned. Once you have one of the things that you learned, 2 things you found interesting, and 1 question that you had, all right? Once you star one, go ahead and write it up on the board. Either one thing that you had found interesting, that you learned, or that you had a question on. Yes, sir. All you need to know is, all you just gotta do is put it on there, okay? So you can take this one right here. So all I want you to do is star 3 things that you learned. Once you starred one of them, go ahead and put it up on the board, alright? Alright, Bryson. You got one?
Yeah.
Alright,
Wait, so how many do you two? What, just for one?
yeah, just put one up. What's one thing you guys found that you learned? Anything that you wrote down? What was the 3 marker? Here, why don't you take your, write it down verbatim. Okay.
What?
Yeah, use this one, this will go. For question number 6. Question 3. Yes, ma'am. So what would be some questions that you still have about the 1930s? What caused it? Okay. Yeah. So you wanna have another thing? Oh, you got one. Sure. It's okay, it's okay. You can, okay. Alright, let me go up there. There you go. Right this way. Yeah. There. Under number 3, where Carly's at.
Here.
You want me to read it to you?
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, just why. Yeah, you're right, it'd be on Zoom. Scotty's is going up. Appreciate it. Alright. Bring me what you had. What's right underneath Carlos. Alright, you said you had a question? Alright, why don't you take the marker and then write your question down? Blake, you got one?
Yeah.
Nah, we got a couple. We got like
Go ahead, write one for it.
5.5.
One. Capitalize the G. What is this? Oh, okay.
What, do you need a translator for that?
No, I got it. So tiny. Well, I have to. Well, let's come up here, man.
Translator's calling. Oh, where'd you get Play-Doh from?
What's this one?
I don't even take my glasses off.
Oh, I thought that was apostrophe. Alright. Alright, so we have our exit ticket as a class, 3, 2, 1, alright? So, some of the things that we looked at, people really were desperate to find jobs and getting income, right? So, one of the things that we've already talked about yesterday and things that we will explore is the urban population and how desperation really kind of seeps into everyone's lives, from bank owners to the butcher down the street. We'll also take a look at people lost everything in the stock market, so we'll take a closer look at the Keynesian theory. And remember when we talked about equilibrium, right? Gabe, you want to explain that just a little bit? I know we talked about it a little bit.
The equilibrium?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like a balancing point,
Right.
where it's all balanced out.
Right, and so what we're talking about with the balancing, we're going to take a look at the economics aspect of how the 1920s causes the Great Depression, and how there are some economics that believe that in the Keynesian theory of where this is the effect of a multitude and unlimited spending with no government oversight. When you don't have government oversight for decades, that's called, what's that called? Did you forget?
Oh, hands off! Hands off!
Hands off, but
Yeah.
what's the French term?
Laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire, very good. I know I steered that into your brain.
Yeah, it took me a
It
minute.
took, yeah, I was just testing you.
Yeah.
So, because of the laissez-faire government in the 1900s, throughout the industrial age, this 1930s is just the correction of it, the natural balance of it. We'll take a look at how it got started, why it got started, And how did we get out of it? That's the most important part. There's gonna be a fellow that comes along. His name is FDR. Who's ever heard of FDR before? We got a half hand, a little bit of hand, maybe a scratch of the lip. So,
little bit.
only a little bit. Who is FDR, Scott?
Franklin Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, very good. He's gonna be in term, does anyone know how long? 16 years or 4 terms. The man puts his stamp on American history. He is quintessentially Americana, right? And so we'll look at the Elevate program, we'll look at all the different programs that he puts into place and that forces the government to be hands-on, all right? Because of the drastic situations. We'll also take a look at the next part, which is how does this affect the rural country, the rural areas of the US, such as when the Dust Bowl happens. All right, that primarily hits the Midwest section of America. Does anyone know the states of the Midwest by chance? Get a little bit of our geography in here. Jason Aldean's flyover states, anyone know some of the states?
That's gonna be a no for me, chief.
It's
Is there an Oregon in there?
Oregon's west coast. So we're talking Kansas, Oklahoma,
Texas.
Iowa, Texas, I guess, upper peninsula parts of Texas, yeah, you can say that, but they're more of the south than, or the southwest. They are affected very minimally. Missouri, Nebraska are more of your bread states where all the wheat is controlled and comes from. And that hits, those are the people that are affected the most with the dust storms. Alright? Then we'll also take a look. What are some things that you guys are interested in about the 1930s or notions that you've heard about?
I mean, I just wanna know how everyone gets out of it, how everyone gets out of the Great Depression, how America builds itself back up out of it.
Yeah, we definitely will be talking about that. And it has to deal with international politics and 3 fellows named Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin. World War II occurs